Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Community Health. We have 8 locations to serve you better. Our staff is dedicated to help you and your family. Here's your host, Vicki Soulé.
Good afternoon and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm so glad to be here with you all this week, celebrating 2023 going forward with lots of new and exciting things about to happen for all of us. That's part of my faith, that we live in paradise, and that paradise is made up like a crazy quilt by a variety of different people and nonprofits and for-profits and retail and churches and community members. So I will continue inviting people forward so that you can get some experience with people you might not be aware of or their organizations. Perhaps like today's guest from the Salvation Army, you've heard of the organization, but don't know a lot about how it might operate or is operating rather in our community, as opposed to where you might have been exposed to them in a different county or even state. So welcome, Kelvin.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We chatted for just a few minutes before the reel started to roll, as it were, and you indicated that you and your family have been here about 6 months.
Yes, a little bit over 6 months, yeah.
And so what do you think of our little bit of paradise?
This is paradise, yeah. We love it, our kids. We were afraid a little bit because we came from a busy city like Miami, and our kids were used to that. But when we get here, it was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's very different than Miami.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's part of the reason we call it paradise, because we don't have to fight all of the congestion and other things in a big city.
In big cities, yes.
But by the same token, there are some things that we don't have that our young adults still call this zero beach, I guess,
right.
because we don't have a lot of clubs or entertainment for them. But many of them go to college and come back and raise their own families here. Yes. So it's just a question of the timing. So you were explaining to me earlier that the Salvation Army originated not in the United States, but in England.
Right.
Would you mind telling our audience a little bit more about that history?
Yes. Well, we are from England, London. Our founder, William Booth, in 1800s, he was a Methodist preacher, and he felt the calling to preach to the needy. Okay. So in those days, you know, the church has this high level of people coming to the church. It was just rich people.
The Christian churches were not welcoming the poor,
and the needy
equals.
And William Booth went out one night, and he was in Victoria Street in London, and he saw this bunch of people being abused, drunks, drug addicts, and he started talking to them in the Word of God. One day he brought a group of them, to the church, and that got him in trouble.
I bet it did.
So he had to explain why he was bringing this type of people into their church. And from that point, he felt the calling of God to preach. They need it because they need Christ. They need help. But he has a unique calling because he never preached to somebody straight about God. He always says that first of all, you have to clean the person. So you have to give it a shower if they need a shower. If they're hungry, you have to feed them first. And then when they feel good with themselves, they're fed already, and then you can share about God. So people were receiving God because the way he was doing it. So that's how he grew in London, and he started spending to the whole world, because we are in over 130 countries.
Wow.
Salvation Army, yep.
Wow. So, I did ask you how you happened to come from Miami to here, and you did explain that that is part of the way that Salvation Army operates in terms of putting you where your best need to
Exactly.
fulfill is.
Exactly. The Salvation Army has their own way to evaluate everybody, and wherever your gift is needed, that's why they move you.
Sort of like the service.
Yes, exactly.
It's just a different
It's
kind
just
of
a different
service,
kind of
isn't it?
service.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we
So-
hope that you are here for a good long time.
Thank you.
Most recently, we know that Salvation Army was recognized outside of many, many Publix markets
Right.
for their bell ringing in December.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, I would like to say if you did a bell ringing, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And all of you that did it, that awesome job.
And there were hundreds, you said.
Yes.
Hundreds of people came
hundreds
out.
of people. Yes, our stat shows like we have 166 volunteers, but that includes groups and companies.
like my Rotary Club.
Like a Rotary Club, but you were 10 people there that day or 20 people, but we still count as a one. So we think it is about 200, 250 people that were participating in that fundraising. And thank you, because we were able to raise $140,000 with all the help that we received.
Yeah, and I can
140.
tell you, we saw everything from quarters to dollars to 20s going into the buckets. So again, I thank you, community members, for casting aside any doubts you might have about how that money would be spent, because I've heard it on the street. I hope
Right.
this goes for a good cause. So
Exactly.
let's talk about how do you spend that Christmas celebration money?
Well, it helps us. It's not that money is not the entire budget. It's part of the budget.
So it's not dedicated to a particular thing.
No, it's part of the operation.
Okay.
And help us to continue serving our community. Sometimes we have money comes in to do utility assistance, but never is enough. So we have this fundraising that help us to facilitate that program. So like last year, we were about pretty close to 400 families. We did 386 families that came in through our doors for utility and rental assistance.
Wow.
That's over, we got 365 days of the year, and we serve over 346 families. So more than two families or more than one family came every day to our building with a need of, I cannot pay my bills of electric bill or water, or I cannot pay my rent or my mortgage. So we were able to help them.
That's wonderful.
And this money helped us to help those in need. And these are the days that we have to say we can't. And that's what we don't want to. That's what we do, the Break Kettle campaign, to raise the most money that we can, because it will help us to say, yes, we're going to help. And not just help with the rental. They need that moment, but giving them hope. There's still people out there that want to help you. So and we are here to be that bridge. So,
absolutely.
Yep. So
talk to us about some of the other things that people come to you for.
Yes.
You have a location.
2655 5th Street Southwest.
Okay, over by Skateland someplace.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we are right there. So we serve our community with a food pantry. Beside the utility assistance, we have our food pantry. So our families come. We serve, I got a number right here. We served last year. This is fresh, these numbers. So we gave 7,420 boxes.
That's a lot of boxes of food.
Yeah, and each box lasts for 5 days. So for a
Wow.
family of 3, that box should be able to feed the family for 5 days.
That's amazing.
So yes, so that's one of the biggest programs that we have, where our volunteers come and they prepare all these boxes. It's amazing. We need more volunteers, but we have plenty of volunteers that come every day and help us to fix those boxes and be ready to distribute to our community.
So if someone was listening and wanted to volunteer, aside from coming to the building, which may or may not be the best route, how would they get a hold of you?
Well, there's different ways. If you like to Facebook, you can look for us on Facebook, and you can just send a text. Hey, I would like to volunteer. We will get back to you. Instagram, our website, thesalvationarmy.org, Vero Beach, and we'll see. And they will pop up and our website will pop up a volunteer window. Okay. So in our Instagram or Facebook, you just can give us a message and we will respond on that.
Well, we have a lot of snowbirds here currently. I'm sorry, I know that's not a popular phrase, but having come from Michigan, I understand there's a lot of snow up there, so I would escape it as well. The folks that are here, though, can you use them part-time, or is it?
Sure. We need volunteers with our food pantry in our buildings, professionals, and also in our thrift store. So our thrift store is something else that we have that help us to raise money, because the money that we raise through ourselves in our thrift store, it doesn't go to any other corporation or any administrative funds. It goes back to the community. So
the funds that are raised here stay here?
It stays here. Yep.
Okay. So it's not like they're sent back to England and then dispersed.
No, not to England.
Just checking.
Yes, no, we don't send anything. We have our program that is to help missions. So, but there's a fundraising that we do. It's not getting for our operational accounts, but it's a fundraising that we do to help those countries that they need a little more finance. But yeah, and our thrift store help us to continue in that mission. So our thrift store is important. That's why I would like to say always that when you buy in a thrift store, you know that besides you are happy because you get what you want, what you need, you helping somebody. That money goes to help somebody.
Absolutely. We're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and talk more about the thrift store, the changes that you've had over this last year, and why you did some of the things that will send us forward in 2023.
Amen.
Okay?
Thank you.
Treasure Coast Community Health in-house pharmacies have the lowest prices in Indian River County, even lower than big box pharmacies. Taking your medication as prescribed leads to better health. Affordable medicine makes it easier. Treasure Coast Community Health patients can pick up medicine as they leave the office or use free delivery and mail order services. Pharmacists are always available to answer questions. Switch to TCCH pharmacies. Save money, stay healthy. 772-257-8224 and ask about our price match.
Hey, did you hear the latest about our Florida Highwomen?
No, what?
There's a new Highwomen art gallery in Vero Beach.
Really? Where?
1872 Commerce Avenue.
Wow, when's it open?
7 days a week. Call 954-557-6226 for an appointment anytime.
No kidding?
Just call for your appointment, 954-557-6226, and then go to 1872 Commerce Avenue.
Wow, that's good news.
A member of the iTex trading community. Your iTex dollars are welcome. Who's got time to clean? When you need it clean, call Germ Wizards LLC. Using the most up-to-date equipment, Germ Wizards pays strict attention to detail. They make dust disappear. Whether you need your office to sparkle, your home to shine, or you want to give someone a great gift, hire the Germ Wizards. It's easy to get a quote online. There's even an online portal to discuss details directly with your cleaning professional. Visit GermWizardsLLC.com. Make dust disappear with Germ Wizards.
It's Bluegrass Night every Thursday at Marsh Landing Restaurant. Enjoy our famous swamp water with down-home favorites like frog legs, fried chicken, and peanut butter pie. The music starts at 6:30 every Thursday. Call for reservations. Bluegrass Night at Marsh Landing in Fellsmere.
Affordable Water continues to offer you the best water on the Treasure Coast. Earn a competitive salary and a 401k, working weekdays as a delivery driver or water treatment tech. To apply, stop in at Affordable Water in Sebastian at 645 Old Dixie Highway.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Community Conversations. If you're just joining us, my name is Vicki Soule and I'm the CEO of Treasure Coast Community Health. Now, Treasure Coast Community Health, or more affectionately shorter, called TCCH, is a primary care provider of all different kinds of health care, whether it's medical, dental, behavioral health, pharmaceuticals, an x-ray, and most recently, eye care. So we encourage all of you that are new to town to consider coming to see us, make an appointment, because your good health is our biggest concern. Whether you're here a short term or whether you've moved to Paradise permanently, we're here to help regardless of age or wealth or lack of, because it's a community that cares. And so in that vein, I again welcome back Kelvin Garcia, who is new to town fairly, as part of the Salvation Army's leadership. So we were talking about the thrift store. And as I mentioned to you, one of the Treasure Coast Community Health's location is at what we used to call the Kmart Plaza. I don't know what we'll call it in the future, but they're at 15th and US 1, right down the street from where you had a thrift store. And I saw you have moved out. Can you tell us how that transition happened?
Well, the transition happened because, we, Salvation Army, evaluate to be a good steward. So the money's coming in, we sell the product that's donated. So what are we doing with that money? Are we just spending in buildings and repairing things, or we are really putting that money to help the needy? So, and that evaluation shows that buying a building, it was more cheaper than paying rent. So that was part of the decision to...
You found a building.
To find a building.
Yours.
Exactly. That belongs to the Salvation Army. We still have the mortgage, but we pay half of the price. The mortgage is half what we were paying for rent. So give us more opportunity to help more people. And
that new location is where?
It's 3555 9th Street Southwest.
Otherwise known as Oslo Road.
Oslo Road, yes.
So you and another thrift store are side by side.
Side by side, yes.
That's very unusual.
Unique and unusual, yes.
But you're a trend maker.
Yes, amen. And people knows that our community knows that, whatever is donated to us, we're gonna sell it, but it's to help somebody. It's not
Absolutely. So you talked about one of your biggest programs is a food pantry. They're on
2655.
Yes. And tell us about some of the other things you do. At some point, I don't know if you currently do it, you were making lunches there as well.
We have our soup kitchen open Mondays. We weren't only doing it Wednesday and Thursday, but last month in November, we opened Mondays. So we are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We have hot meals for anybody. We always being labeled as for the homeless. Not for the homeless, it's for anybody that wants a lunch on that day. They can come by and
That's
enjoy
wonderful,
it.
Because I know we hear a lot about folks who come as a couple or as a family, and then over time something happens and they end up living alone.
Right.
And so you miss that contact, that conversation with others.
Yep.
So they can come
There's
in.
a great opportunity. There's a lot of people to talk in there. And yes, it's amazing. I got a number for last year. We serve 15,000 hot meals. 15,000 hot meals through the whole year.
Incredible. So are some of your volunteers cooks?
Oh, yes. We have, everything is partnership and volunteers. If we don't have partnership, and then we're kind of
So if you're not a people person, but you like to cook, there's a role for lots of different...
Like I say already, volunteers that are professionals that would like to do something, we have something for you, for sure.
Whether it's one day or several days?
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And we have partnership with First Methodist Church and Community Church of Vero Beach. They come and help us in cooking and serving. And they basically running the show. We just provide
I've heard that.
we provide the building. We provide our kitchen or equipment. And they bring the volunteers and do this amazing work.
Great program to be a
Yes,
part
it
of.
is.
'Cause
It
you're
is like
helping
I
others.
want to repeat that it's not, we say for homeless, but it's, we have families that come to get the food box on our food pantry, and also they stop by and they
At lunchtime.
in the lunchtime.
That's smart thinking.
Yeah, and they take
Yeah.
a couple of them for their families, so
Okay.
it helps in either
Yeah.
way. It's amazing.
And then the Salvation Army does other things, some trainings I've heard.
Yes, we have disaster emergency trainings. So because of COVID, we stopped, everything with COVID.
Yeah.
We blame everything COVID. So,
Yeah.
but this year is a new year. We think we can go back to those trainings. So to prepare people to be ready, especially volunteers, to be ready to serve in disaster. Go to somewhere else. And the last disaster, Hurricane Ian, I went to the West Coast and served for 2 weeks. And it's
thank you, sir.
amazing. It's
Yeah, it is-
amazing.
it is amazing.
To serve the people that are in need and be on the ground and see how it is.
Were you a cook?
No, I was I was part of the incident command team, but I was part of the logistics. So I was driving the forklift, bring the food, coordinating things like that. So
that's wonderful. Again, that's how you know you've got a special community, when there's a willingness then to help extended neighbors.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you orient and teach people how to do those types of things?
Yes, they have to be trained. Nobody can just go, because they have to be in a training. They have to have certain hours of training where they just basically tell you what to expect and fill it out some questions that, what is.
And is that limited to a certain age?
No.
18 and up?
18 up.
And up, as long as you're physically able.
As long as you want to do it.
As long as you want to do it, that's a qualifier. Okay, well, that's a good thing to know.
Yes, we have different ages, genders. It doesn't matter. It's just you're willing to do it.
So in that light, I know that a number of the high school kids are looking for opportunities to get some service hours. Can they come and volunteer there? Is there an age minimum
if
for that?
If it is a high school group, they have to they have to come with a chaperone or one of their parents. Somebody has to be responsible if they are under 18.
Okay.
We are we don't have enough people to have a chaperone with them all the time, but they have to bring. Normally, that's what they do. They bring a group of kids, like 10 or 8, and with a chaperone, and they work for 5-6 hours a day, and they got the hours. So yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yep.
We're almost to the end of our time. Is there anything else that you want to share, so you don't go back and go, gosh, I meant to say?
Yeah, I just would like to say that during Christmas, besides our bell ringing, we also do an angel tree. So we give toys to the kids. So last year we gave it 600 kids.
Wow.
600 kids. We gave toys, and each kid received 4 toys. So
shoppers, if you're out there, you're seeing really good deals on toys, grab them, and then you can donate them then next year.
Exactly. So we help 600 kids and 200 seniors, because we also have our program for seniors.
Wonderful. And what's the most popular gift for a senior?
They ask always for gift cards.
Gift cards, yeah.
Walmart's or Publix gift card.
Food's an issue for everyone these days.
For that, yes. Yeah. And also they ask it for blankets or things like they need it for their personal use. So we try to provide.
Thrift shoppers, January's the time. Get out there and put a little bit aside for next year.
Yeah, sometimes we have a deficit in that money that we raise, and the kettles help us to push and help the people.
Well, thank you so much for what you and all of your colleagues do.
Thank you.
And for the volunteers that are out there 12 months a year. If you've got any extra time and want to make a difference, get a hold of these guys and go for it.
Yeah.
So thank you again for staying till the very end. And next week we'll have another wonderful guest, completely different topics, of course. And I wish you a very nice evening.